What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Gsluke here with a Monday Night Football preview between the Bears and the Patriots. An absolute doozy, but we've got ourselves fantasy contests to worry about, right? Us degenerates, a little bit to bet on here, so nothing to worry about from the entertainment standpoint. And going to break down everything you need to know for tonight, whether it's the game script, some of the injuries to keep an eye on, ownership, and of course, the game script that I think is going to go ahead and play out. It lets you go out there, build some lineups, and hopefully cash out for some money on the GPPs tonight. So with a lot to talk about, let's go ahead and get this thing started. We've got ourselves a 40-point total, an 8.5-point spread favoring the Patriots, something like a 24-16 projected point total for each side. And in general, you're going to see a lot of attention given to defenses on a low total slate, a lot of running backs for the favored team, kickers, even players that are those mid-tier wide receivers tend to get hammered a lot more. So ownership is going to be a little bit more skewed in those directions. And of course, from the game script perspective, there's going to be a ton, and I mean a ton, of 4-2 scripts favoring the Patriots over the Bears. And by a 4-2, I mean a Patriots captain plus 3 other Patriots, and then 2 players from the Bears. That is going to be by far the most common build you see, and I don't necessarily disagree with it. I think that is by far the most likely outcome, and based on all of the numbers that I've ran, all of the game scripts that I've gone through trying to decipher what I think is going to happen tonight, I think that's what's going to happen. You're going to get a handed victory for the Patriots, relatively low scoring, but the key here is to try and play, maybe the chalky game script, but to go out there and make it a little bit more unique. So maybe rather than assuming that the defenses are the ones going out there and being optimal, or even the kickers, maybe it's just the running backs. Maybe it's a double running back set for the Patriots, which we'll talk about later. Perhaps it's some of the more possession sort of players like a Jacoby Myers going out there and maybe even being the optimal captain when it's all said and done. There's a few different ways that we can go about getting unique even inside that chalky game script, which again is favoring that Patriots side, that we're going to explore here. But before we do so, I want to talk about a few other game scripts that you could consider, not necessarily ones that I'm playing, but I would understand you getting to. First off would be anything Bears sided, right? If you're taking a 4-2 Bears, a 5-1, whatever the case may be, even a 3-3 game script is going to be slightly more unique than what you're getting with a 4-2 or maybe even a 5-1 Patriot stack. A lot of people are going to be trying to jam in, those Patriots players. Play the game script, 8.5-point spread. That's really dictating a lot of that action. Just take Justin Fields, match him up with a few of those wide receivers. That would be a really quick way to get unique, but something that I'm personally not very comfortable getting to. And by the way, if my voice sounds a little bit raspy, which I'm sure it does, I was at the Sunday Night Football game last night and did quite a bit of screaming myself. So our voice is hardly here, but still want to get out as much content as I can. With that being said, though, so you could get to a Bear stack, they're trying to be a little bit unique. Another way to get unique would be to maybe take the pass catchers from the Patriots. So, Mac Jones is questionable. We do expect him to play. We'll talk about a few other injuries here in a second. Taking a Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers, who we talked about, who even in a rush-heavy script, I think he can still get there. But you'd probably use him in that sort of idea. Those sort of outlier scripts would be a really easy way to differentiate yourself, right? Then you can take all the chalk you want, potentially even spend all of your salary and go out there and build lineups. I kind of prefer, at least for this slate, right? Changes slate to slate depending on, a lot of the, I'd say, optimal percentages. Like, I don't want to give them my entire process, but a lot of it is based on percentage chance of actually getting to that optimal lineup, at least from a game script perspective. I'm siding towards the chalky side here. So I'm going to be a little bit more unique within that chalky sort of build. So we'll talk through some of the players here. So first off, injury-wise, Mac Jones is questionable, but he is expected to start. Nelson Agholor is also questionable, but I think reports as of right now are a little bit positive towards him playing. And then we also have Kendrick Bourne, who I have projected as out right now, who's also a game time decision at 3,000. So those are the 3 major injuries to consider. As of right now, I have Mac Jones playing, same thing with Agholor. And Damian Harris, he was questionable to start the week, but has practiced fully. So he's going to be good to go there too. So $8,400. I have him as a full go and a full workload for tonight's game. So with all of that out of the way, right, we know the sort of game script that I'm playing with is favoring the Patriots. Let's talk about how I'm attacking it. And like I said, if you want to be more unique, you could try and take some of the pass catchers, but I'm definitely going to be favoring these running backs. So Stevenson, also a Damian Harris, are going to play huge parts of my pool. Now, Stevenson's a little bit overpriced, but I still think he has by far the highest projection on the slate. You can see I have him for 15.2 points, whereas a lot of the other guys are in that 14 to 12 range, so it's not like he's blowing them away, but still, you might need that top point scorer from a raw points perspective to go out there and hit the nuts tonight, particularly if it ends up being a really low scoring game. Then those raw points, maybe those 15 to 20 points for first, even if he's going to be $16,000, might end up being needed. So that's what I've got with Ramondre Stevenson. Moving on, I'm okay with Montgomery. I think he's more of a fringe outcome. I mean, he's got to score a few touchdowns to get to that optimal, particularly if I'm favoring the Patriots tonight. But $10,600, still somebody that I'm considering in that role because of his PPR upside, particularly on Draftkings, which is what this is favored for here, what the projections are accounting for, is a full PPR, unlike some of the other sites out there where it might be a half-point PPR or a zero PPR, where he's maybe a little bit less attractive. Still love Justin Fields, even in a 4-2 stack favoring the Patriots. I mean, technically, I guess it would be a 2-4 stack with 4 Patriots, but you get the idea there. Justin Fields, I'd be okay taking because of his rushing upside. Projects for right around 14.5 points. So he brings a high floor to the table. We know he's going to put up both rushing and passing usage, which is really why he's attractive even in a low-scoring game. And I would say especially in a low-scoring game. He could end up being the optimal captain in a game that they lose by, I don't know, 21 points, maybe even 28 points, particularly if that Patriots team is doing a lot of rushing and it's spread out between a Stevenson and somebody like a Damian Harris, right? Let's say they both score like 15 fantasy points. Maybe the 18, that raw score for Justin Fields, ends up being what you end up having to have. So that's why he's in my captain pool as well. I like Mac Jones. I think that he's going to be on the winning side, so I'll be playing him, but not much at the captain slot. Talked about Jacoby Myers. I like his PPR upside. Darnell Mooney always has a home run play in him, so $7,400. He could get there with one big catch. Not a huge pass catching guy for the Patriots here, right? So there's going to be a few guys that I'm taking, mostly Jacoby Myers because of his PPR upside and a few of the tight ends that might end up scoring in the red zone. But Tyquan Devontae Parker, not going to be my favorite plays. Nelson Aguilar, though, if he plays, I do like getting to him because as of right now, I have him about half as owned as the other two players. And more importantly, all of the builds that I've gone through so far, $5,800, that flexibility that you're getting is huge for trying to take both running backs for the Patriots or to take Justin Fields and Ramondre Stevenson, especially if you're taking one of those two at the captain slot, like I'm doing in quite a few of my lineups. He's a really good source of value, solid piece of value here in the mid-tier range. In terms of buybacks on the Bears side, I do like Dante Pettis. Also, Cole Kmet there at $4,800. They're not projecting off the board, right? 3.7 and 5.5 points. But if either one gets into the end zone, that would be enough at their price tag. Hunter Henry, a tight end for the Patriots. I like him. I also do like Jonnu Smith, who's $2,400, so a little bit cheaper. Both of those plays will be in my pool. You could consider Equanimeous St. Brown. He's not my favorite play, though, just not that talented. In terms of kickers and defenses, though, so I got to point this out. I may be fading all of the defenses. I have them right now at right around 24.9% ownership, 6.6% at the captain slot, which is probably a little bit low. And the last run that I put out there for ownership, which I haven't uploaded yet, actually put onto this sheet, they're in the mid-30s in terms of flex ownership. I mean, even the Bears defense is getting close to 30%. And at the captain slot, I actually have the Patriots getting close to 10% ownership, which is just ridiculous. So at a certain point, even on a low-scoring slate, they still have to have some sort of splash upside to get there, whether it's posting 5 or 6 sacks, whether it's getting multiple interceptions, like 3 or 4 on the game. They've got to do, or touchdown, obviously, right, on special teams or on defense. And that sort of play has to happen for them to go out there and get to the optimal, and that's a really low percentage outcome. So if they're going to be chalky, that's also the Bears side too. I'm probably going to be zigging while a lot of people are zagging. In terms of the kickers too, I like Nick Folk because they do have the implied team total, so he's implied to score more points on the slate. Kyra Santos, though, on a team implied to score 16 points, you could argue that that's due to inefficiency. Maybe they go down there and they kick a bunch of field goals. But honestly, in either circumstance, probably not somebody that I'm all excited to get to. If I do, I'm probably matching the field. In terms of true punts, the only guy I'm getting as of right now, because I'm taking a lot of these value tier wide receivers, we'll have a little bit of Nick Folk, but Velus Jones Jr., somebody who plays on special teams and on the offense for the Bears. He's gotten more and more involved in the offense as the season has gone on. He started the year injured, was out for a few games, has slowly but surely gotten more and more of a snap share as the season has gone on. It's only $1,200, so he could score you a special teams touchdown. So maybe you want to pair him up with the Bears special teams and defense, right? So maybe you get a double dip in terms of the touchdown there, which would be pretty sweet. I've done that with Devin Duvernay before, where, of course, the Ravens defense / special team scored, and he did on a showdown slate. And he was also $200. That was one of the best showdown plays that I've ever made in my entire life. I always take risks on that sort of thing because it happens before. And when it does, you hit the absolute nuts. Velus Jones Jr. also plays on offense, so it's not like he only can get there with a special team score. So don't feel like you have to stack them together, but maybe it's a little bit of extra juice there in case it ends up happening. So that would be the last punt that I'm taking. But like I said, in general, really favoring that Patriots side. I'm not against taking a few of these Bears in the captain slot, just in some of those outlier sort of performances as a buyback going off. But in general, stacking mostly 4-2, 5-1 Patriots side sort of lineups, and I'll play in that sort of game script. All right, fellas, that is all I've got for the Monday Night Football preview. I know the game isn't all that exciting, but hopefully we can cash out, make it exciting. I'll be playing some NBA DFS, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then hopping into some Monday Night Football lineups here in a few hours too. So best of luck with all of your lineups. Make sure you like the video before you hopping out of here. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would recommend you do so too, so you don't miss my Thursday Night Football preview. And of course, all of the Monday Night Football previews that I'm doing throughout the season. If you're looking for access to all of my projections as they change up until lock, there'll be a new set of ownership dropping here soon. Any player pool updates that I make before I finalize my builds are on my Patreon page. There is a link in the description of the video for access to that. I post my projections both for NFL and for golf on there. So make sure to check it out and see if it's your thing. But until then, guys, like I said, best of luck and let's get this cash.